Basically. All right, basically. What page are we on? 2018? Yes. If you're going to use this desk, there's only one desk. Oh, the crystal ball goes on this. Angela, where's Angela? Do you have the crystal ball yet? Oh, okay. All right. And Mother Heckett, are you back there? Is Sarah the only one missing? Yes, I have it. Don't worry, I have it taken care of. We're not worried about the costume right now. The costume will be covered. You're Sarah. You're sitting down there.
I'm Sarah? Who's Sarah? Who is she?
Sarah is who? Which one is Sarah? Who does she come in with?
She's on stage already.
She's on stage already, sitting there? You're standing up braiding her hair, aren't you?
Yeah. Not
Okay.
yet.
What? Not yet? All right, I'll tell you what. You stand behind her. You're going to be Kay. Actually, we should have a girl read this because it looks ridiculous with a boy reading it because it's a witch school. Okay. Who wants to read Sarah's part? Girl. Allison. Okay. Yes, she is. She is in this. She is, but she's not doing it at this moment because she's doing it. Yes. I'm guessing. What? What? Yes. Find it. All right. Let's, audience, quiet now. Oh, Margot, you're here. I didn't see you. All right. Okay, quickly. We have many, many more to go through. You'll hear. Okay, right there. That's fine. Okay, let's go. No, I don't want her there. There's too many chairs. That chair is struck. Strike that chair. Strike the chair. Strike the chair, and you are, that's it. You are right behind her. You're standing. When she gets up to braid her hair, then you sit down. All right? When she gets up, then you sit. All right, now are we ready to take this? Now, we may have a closed curtain on this, so the curtain will open, and you people will be quiet over here in the audience. Thank you. On penalty of death. All right, now, curtain opens, the light comes up on the scene.
Caleb. Yeah. Come here, please. I want you here.
Okay, let's start it all over. You have the first word of each scene. It has to be dynamic. It has to set the tone for the whole thing. Caleb! I want to hear a scream. He's outside. And you don't stand in the middle of the room and yell, Caleb! You go to the window. Caleb! Let people see. Have that motion going out. We want to see what's happening. All right? You're right. We need movement, okay? Right out there. Shout it out.
Come here, please. I want you.
Now, once again, if I were going to a window, I wouldn't stop 2 feet in front of it. To the audience, that curtain is the end of the wall. Go to right to the end. Caleb! Yoo-hoo! That kind of thing.
Caleb. Yeah. Come here, please. I want you here. Yeah. The new teacher's at the station. I hope I'm doing the right thing. But what else can I do? Nothing.
Now, you've got to have breaks and pauses.
Just water and roses.
Well, you could finish them later.
Roses don't like being left in the middle. Puts them off and feed.
I have never heard of a rose bush with a nervous stomach.
Come on a little further on
Will you
stage.
please drive down to the station and pick
Caleb,
up
on stage a little bit more. You look like you're trying to escape.
Will you please drive down to the station and pick up Miss Graymarkin's replacement?
Can't pick up anybody. My back's bad.
I didn't mean pick up bodily. Just drive down to the station and open the car door. Why must everyone be so obtuse?
Gotta say what you mean. And I wish you'd tell them girls keep away from my magic roots. They get all tromped on again.
I'll mention it.
Don't see why grown girls have to play ring around the rosy anyway.
his rosebush, not mine. But he is a magician with a perennial border.
I thought he was a normal.
He is a normal. I just meant, never mind. And I do wish that you girls would stop with your circles out in the back of the garden. I don't want him gossiping about us in the village. It's hard enough with those police coming around to sell their raffle tickets. Janelle, will you ring for the faculty, please?
Of course, Miss Blackwell.
Now, Mrs. Blackwell, you're going to have a pad of things, a check-off list of things that you're doing. So your props will include, you know, a pencil, a pen, and things that you're doing, because otherwise you'd ring for the faculty yourself. You're very, very busy, very distraught. So we have to see that. And one of your props will be a pencil and a pad, and you're checking off all these things that have to be done before the new instructor comes. All right.
Turn in circles. 1, 2, 3. Come, members of the faculty.
You called?
Yes, Miss Hurley. It's a very special meeting.
Will I disturb anybody if I go on with my embroidery? It's the amulet bag. I put some galls of gold and some slips of view for my little niece. She's subject to colds. Smashing.
I am sorry to be late, so, but I was miles away in the village buying broomsticks for the graduation. Actually, I am still there waiting for my change. Gee, Miss Wiss, I wish I was as good as you at being in 2 places at once. Practice, dear child, practice. When I was a riding mistress at the academy in Vienna, for fun, I frequently spent my vacations in Heidelberg and Baden-Baden at the same time.
Well, that's everyone but Mother Henkin. When she's out in that lab, she's in another world. Mother Henkin!
Coming, what is it? I'm coming. What's all this hurly-burly time? I haven't got the time. Time's the only thing we can't stop. I'm a very busy witch.
Now, Mother Henkin, this won't take a minute.
Well, Vinegar Tom's getting impatient. He's got a very short attention span since his teeth fell out. But I won't change familiars now. I'm used to him. Besides, you can't teach a new cat old tricks.
Well, won't you sit down so that we can start the meeting?
Okay, don't be, you know, you're in charge. She's definitely a superior witch, but you're in charge. Won't you sit down? Don't have a pleading tone in your voice, you know. Be in charge. Won't you sit down so we can get on with this thing, you know, and have a little edge, a frustrated, not a whine, a plaintive tone in your voice. Won't you sit down? Encourage the woman, you know. You're trying to placate her a little bit.
So, won't you sit down so we can start the meeting?
If you mean a witch's coven, why don't you say a witch's coven?
That's an old-fashioned term, Mothers. We don't say that anymore.
If it was good enough for grandmother, it's good enough for me.
There was a certain style about the old days. I can't help feeling we're losing in these hurry times.
Please, Miss Hurley.
I remember when I was a girl.
Where is the bucket of blood? If it's a witch's coven, there should be a bucket of blood.
Could you stand when you deliver that? No, not. You're fine. Your personality is carrying you. Plus, you're on the edge here. When you give your line, it's like you're the dainty one, you know. Oh, and just stand up and tell her that, and then she's trying to sit you down so they can get some things going. Okay.
Start my first line.
Just with your line. Start just with your line. And girls, I want you to look like you're doing something, like you're involved, but keep the gestures low-keyed. If you do too much of this and that, what happens is that you draw attention. You draw visual attention to yourself. And we don't want that. We want, we want you to look involved and look natural, but we don't want the attention drawn away from the main action. All right?
Do I go to her or do I go to her?
Shut up over here.
Do I go to her?
What? You go to her.
So when I say there's a certain style.
Yes. There was a certain style. Like maybe we should have a bucket of blood. Okay? say, oh, there was a certain style. And she's trying to modernize. This is the old world where witches still had cats and brooms and pointed hats. And she's trying to modernize to keep a low profile with the rest of you witches, all right? Okay.
There was a certain style.
There was a certain style. You're trying to convince her.
There was a certain style about the old days. I can't help feeling we're losing in these hurried times.
Please, Miss Hurley.
I remember when I was a girl.
If it's a witch's coven,
Just don't sit down yet. I remember when I was a girl, and then when she takes over, then you can sit down. Because you're the dainty, older, sweet lavender and lace lady.
There was a certain style in these. There was a certain style I can't help feeling we're losing in these hurried
Now,
times.
look, you're upstaging her. You must come right down to her. Otherwise, she has to turn upstage to look at you. You don't ever want to upstage anybody. You get up. There was a certain style. You have to come right down to her. Otherwise, she has to turn around and look upstage, and that's not fair to her, And if she grabbed you and pulled you right down there, fine, because, otherwise her voice goes right back, and we lose everything she says. And no actor or actress will stand for that. Believe me. In real theater, they'll kill you. Okay. And this is real.
There was a certain style about the old days. I can't help feeling we're losing in these hurried times.
Please, Miss Hurley.
I remember when I was a girl.
if it's a witch's coven, where is the bucket of blood?
It's just a little meeting. We don't need a bucket of blood.
Bucket of blood never hurt anything.
She's gotta do that line, because my next line after that is, why do you have to explain to English teacher? And she didn't say I called you all together.
I can't hear you. What? Did you lose a line?
Yeah, she says, I've called you all together to explain about the new English teacher. And then she says, a bucket of blood never hurt anything. And then my line is, why do you
All
have to
right,
explain
all right.
English teacher?
Jeff,
So if
stay
she
on-
does
stay
that,
on
what
book
am I
up
supposed to
here.
say?
All right, let's take it again. Okay. We'll take it again from Miss Hurley's line, all right? Do you know where they are? All right. He'll stay on book for you. And if they miss a line, feed it to him. All right, and if you're not sure what your line is, just call line, and he'll give you the line, the lead-in. Go ahead.
There was a certain style about the old days. I can't help feeling we're losing in these hurried times.
Please, Miss Hurley.
I remember when I was a girl.
If it's a witch's coven, where is the bucket of blood?
It's just a little meeting. We don't need a bucket of blood. I've called you all together to explain about the new English teacher.
Why do you have to explain an English teacher?
A bucket of blood never hurt anything.
Well, some of you may not like this, but I've done the best I can, haven't I? Yes. Accredited witches who want to teach are not lying about under every rock. Our new instructor is Mr. Steve Wharton.
Scandal! Have a man around the place? The girls won't concentrate. Isn't that right, Vinegar Tom? He says I'm right.
Now, when you're dealing with this cat, who eventually, you have to relate to the cat, even though you don't have him with you right now.
Isn't that right, Vinegar Tom?
Good.
He says I'm right. It could be interesting. See what I mean? First no bucket of blood, and now this man!
A woman would be worse. She'd expect to live here. Mr. Wharton will live off campus, and there's less chance of him finding out.
Finding out what?
What kind of college this is.
Surely everyone knows.
Not Mr. Wharton. He's not one of us.
A normal?
No! Remember, in the army of life, we can't generals.
Outrage! Outrage! Do the trustees know?
They've had to accept it. It's only for a month.
Not too high with the head, because the audience is lower. I mean, a certain amount, but when you have lines especially, bring your head down so we can see your, otherwise we're going to see the underside of your chin only.
They've had to accept it. It's only for a month, and he'll be teaching only academic, non-technical courses. English and composition. Believe me, I've tried everything. I even tried to borrow a teacher from Oz Academy. But those wizards, they just want to cooperate, even though they are a brother school and hardly a minute's flight down the road.
Line, give.
Somebody took my book now.
Oh, you took the line. All right, go ahead.
How can we possibly keep it from him?
We've always managed to keep it from Caleb, our groundskeeper. Just no manifestations. Keep your equipment out of sight. And, Miss Swiss, your gym class is grounded until Mr. Wharton's off the premises.
Disgusting. I don't know how you feel, Marjorie, but I'm proud to be a witch. Isn't that right, Vinegar Tom? He says I'm right.
Nobody can question my devotion, Mother, but we must
Don't
remember.
whine. Be a little insulted. No one could question my devotion. All right? It's got to be in the tone.
No one could question my devotion, Mother. But we must remember this is Salem, and we don't want to start all that nasty trouble again.
Those were the good old days when we had respect from the man on the street. They sometimes forget the normals, but behind the world out there, the world they see, there's a universe peopled by beings of great power. I will not hide from the normals. Let them hide from me!
It's just for 4 weeks, Mother. You don't have to do anything. Just stay in the lab when he's in the house.
My mother would spit on her steak if she could hear this. But all right, Marjorie.
All right, we're losing some important words. First of all, she's going to spin, not spit, and we lose this. Thank goodness we have the motion. Salem. Salem is a very important word in this for witches. Give it a beat, you know. After all, this is Salem. Give it a beat, say the word, make sure that key words get spit out there. He's a normal. Oz Academy, you know, the Wizard of Oz. Oz Academy. These are key words that fit in with wizardry and witchcraft and whatnot. So you want to spit them out. Make sure. Isolate them. All right, by pauses. All right, spin her on her steak again.
My mother would spin on her steak if she could hear this. But all right, Marjorie, all right. I haven't got the time to argue. If I have to come out at lunchtime, I'll come out as a mouse. Tell the cook to buy some cheese. Come on, Vinegar Tom, I'll take you for a romp.
Oh, dear. I hope I haven't offended her.
Oh, don't worry, Mrs. Blackwell.
All right, why don't you direct that over? Why don't you, as she goes off, why don't you put yourself upstage diagonally? No, over to the senior faculty members.
Okay, over here.
Yeah, when she goes off, just walk yourself up there and say to them, I hope, you know, so that you direct that directly to them. All right, take your exit again, please. Take your exit. And make sure we get rump. Get that P. That last letter is important. All right.
My mother would spit on her steak if she... My mother would spit on her steak if she could hear this. But all right, Marjorie, all right. I haven't got the time to argue. If I have to come out at lunchtime, I'll come out as a mouse. Tell the cook to buy some cheese. Come on, Vinegar Tom, I'll take you for a romp.
I hope I haven't offended her.
Don't worry, Mrs. Blackwell.
She'll stay away from him.
Her scream is worse than her spells. Is that all?
All right, once again, you started to her, finish it out
Now,
here
if
to
I-
the
if I-
audience.
If I gesture to her, I'm going to be like,
start with, don't worry, Mrs. Blackwell, and then deliver the rest of it right out here to the audience. You make eye contact with her first. Don't worry, Mrs. Blackwell, and then get the rest of it out here.
Oh dear, I hope I haven't offended her.
Oh, don't worry, Mrs. Blackwell. She'll stay away from him. Her scream is worse than her spells. Is that all?
Yes.
And that's the black. Let's have a black out there. Yeah. Okay. All right. Strike the set. Strike the set. Strike, strike, strike. We'll work on that. Allison, next time we do it, we'll run you as Mrs. Blackwell.